love rock. It will be second episode about history of rock music from all around the world. And today we have... Bine ați venit in Moldova! Welcome, rockers!
Yes, friends, Moldova. When I think about it, saying or think this name, I have a delicious association, wine, and its tasty national food, like Mamaliga. Yes, great wine is the first that makes world famous this hospitable European country.
But of course this is not only long and interesting history, fertile land, beautiful people, and of course rock music. And that's what interesting for me here.
Someone will look at the map and think, Moldova, so small as in square and population, so what rock culture can be there? Prepare to be amazed how surprised I was starting to be interested in this history.
This chapter I will start with a little personal story. It happened that rock music from Moldova I met exactly 10 years ago in Kiev, Ukraine, and quite by accident.
In 2004, a representative of Ukraine on competition Eurovision, Ruslana, won first place in the contest that took place in Turkey. By the rules of the competition, who will win, the country of musician, then accept the next Eurovision.
So, Eurovision come to Ukraine for the first time in history.
In this reason, there were total joy. Preparation was in full power.
It did not cause any emotions for me, because then I did not catch big pleasure of big events and parties like this.
But happened otherwise. In 2005, I studied in the high school. One evening my mother comes from work and said that have 4 tickets for Eurovision and asked me do I want to go.
Say that I was surprised is to say nothing. It turned out that her employee on the work somewhere got 4 tickets. But personally she could not go. The price on those tickets was specified so high that I even said it would be better money.
Well, if it's party, let's party. I took a best friend and 2 classmates and we went to this song contest. Basically, there was a pop music. Certainly is not something that I love, but generally it was cool. There were various competitions. For example, Dennis in arm wrestling won us the package of beer. There were beautiful girls, scenery and much more.
And we are sitting on the best places and discuss the performers like, wow, cool, but boring, cool, boring, not bad, but strange, wow, who is this? That's cool, that's really cool.
Of all the musicians played rock only Norway, girls from Estonia under Switzerland flag, and Moldova.
Which, by the way, in 2005 took part in Eurovision for the first time in history.
The band Zdob Zdub with their song Bunica Bate Doba, Burn Like Napalm. Awesome folk rock and one of the most memorable performances among the participants. They even had a granny which rocking in the chair and finally danced.
This is the first time I accidentally met with Moldovian rock music, and still it's very nice to remember. Well, I think it's time for me to pick up some things and go to Moldova, look some interesting and new places. Let's go!
The first period of rock history is closely connected with one collective, about which I'll tell now.
This is National Philharmonic behind me. In the middle of the 60s, the Moldovan rock started right here. More precise, here began the story of a first band that glorified their motherland among non-pop performers.
Vocal and instrumental ensemble Norok, which translated like hi or be healthy. Founded in 1967, when a few village boys go to the capital try their luck.
At the 60s, the atmosphere in the capital of Moldova, Chisinau, was favorable to development of rock music, and Norok wasn't alone. We can also mention progressive for its time bands like Presto 68, Fortina and Mundial.
The guys, Norok, were talented and brave and extremely lucky too. It happened next. Norok voiced one video advertising on local television, and musical editors liked their national spirit.
Of course, there was a people who did not like the band's music, but about them little later. So they are taken to work in the Philharmonic, but previously this, they passed the exam in front of the special commission playing different music in different styles.
And they passed the exam even in the fact that they surprised commission not playing any Soviet classics.
I wonder why they do not play that good old Soviet classic, because it's very cool, awesome, and I hear it somewhere there. Good Soviet classic. Let's take a look. Guys, I think I finally found the source. Oh my god. No. Oh, that's much better.
Okay, let's get back to musicians. On tour, these guys were playing their own material and cover versions of the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. That was quite bravely for USSR.
And after each of their concerts, evil communists from the concert places wrote and tell lies and dirt about this band. I can give a few examples. Like this, playing alien music to us. They mean something like this. Or play it too loud. What can I say? These primitive people didn't know how rock sounded. So, next. They called them Trojan horse. Told that they have no place in a socialist ideology. About the last expression, I personally agree for 100%. Really, there was no place in the swamp. They called socialist ideology for this band. These guys were more worthy.
The fairest showed what really worth creativity of Norok was a public that came to their concerts and was delighted. People had fun. Once in Odessa at their concert, public even crush a few bunches dancing on them. And right now we will make a musical break to listen one of their songs.
Orașul seara ne-a purtat și între lumini am legănat, sub luni arginte am alergat, ca doi copii, cu ploaia de neon curat, ca pe un cereș te-am legat, și m-a răstat îndepărtat, cu flori târzii, oglindim și luna aur mult anim, pe o barcă legănând în vis, pe doi copii, și numai stelele adânc, ca la o horânță să string, și după ochii tăi mai plâng, ca să mai vii. Orașul seara ne-a purtat și între lumini am legănat, sub luni de arginte am alergat, ca doi copii, cu ploaie de neon curat, ca pe un cereș te-am legat, și m-a răstat îndepărtat, ca doi copii, ca doi copii, oh, 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 oh.
Then came their album, which sold 2 million copies, and for Slovak it was a lot. Finally, year 1970 came, and with them a moment that deserves to live for. July, the day which can be considered as the birthday of Moldovian rock.
Norok gets on the cover page of the Czechoslovak magazine Mladi Sviat, and not just for nothing. There was a festival, Bratislavska Lira, where the boys made a furor.
And it happened that they won the Audience Sympathies Prize, acting on the stage with the stars such as Cliff Richard and Josephine Baker.
Although the attitude from the beginning of the festival audience was biased to the guests from USSR, cause the suppression of Prague Spring in memory were still quite fresh.
And even before the concert, the organizers asked them, please don't sing in Russian. But everything was okay, cause the Beatles style harmony combined with old Moldovan tunes would melt heart of anyone.
Yep, the faith is an interesting thing. Norok filmed by TV. They were invited to Western Europe and British firm Triumph, which is held on the festival, an exhibition of its musical instruments. So, Triumph invited band to play on their instruments.
One of the Norok songs called Sinta un Artist was translated into Czech by band Bratia Hondolan, and for a year it kept first place in the local musical hit parade. Nothing boded trouble.
The band already had to go on Latin America tour, but here Philharmonic management changed, and the first thing they've done, they disbanded the band.
Yep, Moldova, just like other 15 republics of ex-USSR, till the 1991 was under the communists' rule, with all the attendant circumstances.
So sadly, but the bands like other people in Red Empire did not belong to them own, and band can be so simply banned by the order from government, party, or from the Philharmonic as in this situation.
At the 16th of September 1970, Minister of Culture signed the order number 477.
And band was disbanded and deprived of the right to play music.
And the explanation of reasons, of motives in that order were this: the lack of discipline, lack of healthy ideological orientation, propaganda of low-quality artistic values. Propaganda of low-quality artistic values. Just think about it. People, these empty heads, these bureaucrats, these pigs, they are not the bands who playing rock. They are low-quality artistic, life and intellectual values. I just love when people who do not create, who are totally useless for any one of us, and they are just sitting day after day in their armchairs, in their offices and cabinets, telling us things like this.
And they have decided what young people and other people must listen and what they shouldn't, what is interesting and what is not. It's like telling that black is really white.
An example of this logic. Like this. Great band, Iron Maiden, but this is low quality, bad, not interesting, blah blah blah. But the things like... wait, I can hear the sound. Again. Hey, who forget to put down the toilet lid and drain? Thanks, that's much better. But this is interesting. Oh, those cabinet rats! Know what I think about when I hear something like this? The good wishes for such subjects.
After this order started a period of stagnation in Moldovan rock music. Musicians from Norok scattered to different cities and projects.
There was a long pause for almost 15 years started, and there is not much to say about Moldovan rock stage in 70s.
In 70s, Moldova didn't had own rock music. Of course, Western rock discs were in the underground cell, but own bands that are 100% could be attributed to the rock music. No.
In 1974, several past participants of Norok got permission from the officials for the restoration of the ensemble, but this time under the name Contemporanu. Unfortunately, it is not that rebel band anymore.
This is not that beat anymore, obedient and submissive to the Ministry of Culture songs.
But there were some positive points, such as Stefan Petrarca, former Norok, became the first in the country who played soul.
After years of silence and taboos, renaissance of rock music in Moldova starts at the beginning of the 80s, even a little earlier than in some other Soviet republics.
In 1981, the band Timpul was born, name translated as Time. The band was playing progressive jazz rock.
In Ukrainian festival Dnipropetrovsk 82, band won the prize for originality of compositions. After this victory, at home in Kishinev, nobody was waiting them with hugs.
Party bureaucrats did not know what is fusion, and the fact that Temple was ahead of his time.
Band grumbles after the triumph outside the Republic, repeating sad history of Norok after Czechoslovakia.
In 1982, the time of a new legend comes. Modest. The first name of the band was Stupeni, in translation, stairs.
The story begins in Kishinev. Among Russian rockers could hear joke version of naming this city Kishington by analogy with American Washington.
Although who knows, and actually what if Washington is a Kishinev analogy? Okay, let's leave this question to the Masons and Reptilians.
About Russian rockers I said before with some reason. Band called Modest in future issued their first album named Начало, Beginning, and their second album.
After it, problem starts with the local KGB, and they moved to Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, under the patronage of LRK, Leningrad Rock Club.
Band changes its name for a first time. Now they're called Provincia, provinces, an allusion to the fact that they arrived to St. Petersburg from the far Moldova.
Their style is difficult to categorize, close to art rock. They combines music with poems of poet Arseny Tarkovsky and other poets.
The band participates in several festivals, and in 1986 band received the award called Hope of the Leningrad Festival.
Also in 1986 they changed their name to Modest because they learned that name Provincia was already used by another band.
Hangouts, place for musicians of Modest, was a famous rock cafe on Rubinstein 13, Leningrad, where you could meet young and as yet unknown musicians and legends like Viktor Tsoi, Yuri Shevchuk, Boris Hrebenshikov.
One of the real stories. Imagine, first band manager there in Rock Cafe had to walk around the tables searching for a new vocalist with a thing like this. Searching for a brilliant vocalist. The reason is simple. Their singer moved abroad.
In 1988, there was Festival of Hopes in Rock Laboratoria, Moscow. They again received the prize called Hope, which also received right here, but year before by a famous band, Kino.
This victory was remembered by shouts of joy, friends, rockers like "Our friend appeared" or "Viva Russian King Crimson." Honestly, really, it is something similar in these bands, Modest and King Crimson.
And this is time for a musical break. Art rock band Modest. Check it out.
В царстве кривых зеркал
In 1989 they break Iron Curtain, and at the festival in Berlin, Germany, called USSR Special, USSR represents was Modest.
By the way, this festival had two scenes. At the same time, in parallel with Modest, in another stage played one of the best guitarists in history, Canadian Jeff Healey.
Then band had victories and fails. They toured Norway, Denmark, Austria.
European tour was on Mercedes. Well, no, not this one. Yep, something like that. Which was sold after the tour ended.
They wrote albums in Germany, returned to Moldova, they acted at festivals, broke up and got together. Their contribution to rock music is huge.
If we are talking about 80s, now we must remember Yuri Sadovnik and his created in 1983 band called Legenda.
Much of their music material cannot be attributed to rock music, but some of the songs is just a great examples of rock ballads and Moldovan folk.
80s in Moldovian rock won't stop on this.
There is another remarkable personality which I can't pass by talking about rock and Moldova. And if I wouldn't say about him, fans will kick me to the death or poison me. But friends, maybe another time. It's late now and I'm so tired, so... Yes? Oh, it's for me! Thanks! Thanks, friend! Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
Just say it!
Okay! G! Guys, I suddenly realized that I could find a couple of minutes. So, Valeri Gaina.
Born in Moldova, leader of the cult Soviet band Grease and virtuoso guitarist that in the Soviet Union repeatedly recognized as the best.
Started in Moldova, and the first band he created when he was in school. But the real rock for him started only in 1980, when legendary Grease was born.
In Soviet times, the album Grease 1 has been sold for 12 million copies. That so much for Evil Empire.
Of course, band had special relations and fun with bureaucrats, such as a forbiddance to sing for some time.
Why and for what? Simple. They were accused of fascism and extremism.
Super! It is perhaps for that song in which band singing about how badly killing a trees, or maybe a charity concert that they gave in support of victims of the Chernobyl tragedy.
Then he moved to United States, where he played in many projects in a variety of styles, from techno to metal.
He did the music for such channels as CNN, National Geographic, TNT, CBS and Discovery Channel. This isn't a full list.
In his circle of friends included Marty Friedman, band Megadeth, Tom Morello and band Rage Against the Machine, band Tool, and many others.
And now Valeri wrote instrumental music, produces and acts with the project Gaina. Forgot to say that in 1986 in Kishinev, finally City Rock Club was created that gathered musicians. And finally, year 1991. Well, you know the history, we will demonstrate what happened. Finally disappeared good people who told what, when and how to play. Independence allowed to develop rock culture in Moldova much faster, appearing an extremely huge amount of bands playing in all genres and alternatives. And now a few examples of 90s bands like Ochat, Raketo Bill, of course Zdub, which twice represented Moldova at the Eurovision. First in 2005, when I was there with friends, and in 2011 in Düsseldorf, Germany. Gundul Mitsei, Kuibul, Accident, and at the end of the 90s, Alternosfera and Offertorium.
I'm on 31 August Street, near number 78A. And somewhere here was very cold place for rockers from the end of 90s till the middle of 2000 years. Named Black Elephant, but now it's closed.
Yes, at the end of the 90s in the capital there are two cult clubs was open where heavy music from Moldova and other countries played. Bands and musicians. As I said, one of them was Elephant, second Submarine. And officially they call it Black Elephant and the Yellow Submarine, which unfortunately worked about 10 years but have contributed to the formation of an rock metal culture of modern Moldova and left good memories for those who visited them. It will take years and Albion will come to replace them. So there is a places where hard music plays always in Moldova and it's wonderful. And now friends, it's time for example of Moldovan rock from 90s. It will be awesome folk rock, even with metal, band Zdub. So let's listen. Also, in present stage, Moldova have festivals of rock music. Some of them constant, others not.
And here are some examples, like Rockhausen, Vadu Louis Woodstock, Chefstock, Münchhausen, or Stary Melnik, which started in 2004.
Now there are rock legends visiting country. For example, band Scorpions from Germany.
From year 2000 continue to arise great bands as Chair, Yosh, Cheka, Infected Rain, Mahagon, The Flying Postman, XNN, Todo, Paralela 47, Furious Nails, and many others.
Many of these bands known outside Moldova. For example, a long time ago I heard the song called Pismo on rock radio wave in Kiev, and I like this slow and very pleasant music. I then, however, surprised by a strange name of the band, Gundu Mitsei.
But I didn't think about it till nowadays, and after years I decided to tell something about rock music of Moldova, and bam! It turned out that this is band from Moldova. Suddenly.
Now let's check it out, an example of Moldovan rock music from 0 years. It will be awesome alternative from band Alternosfera.
A evadat un asasin, s-a dărâmat un pod perin, iar ploile nu vin. Eu stau culcat în patul tău, de ochii altora ferit. Mă strângi în brațe, sunt trofeu, nu-ți pasă de nimic. În Bratislava cer senin, paradă stranie în Berlin, Olimpiadă în Beijing, în Teheran produs venit. În Orlean a fost Catrin, un gol înscris de Zinamin, cu grața recorit Gulf Stream, iar ploile nu vin. S-a scufundat un submarin, recent un sanitar străin a zis că vinul nu e vin. Eu stau culcat în patul tău, de ochii altora ferit. Mă strângi în brațe, sunt trofeu, nu-ți pasă de nimic. În Bratislava cer senin, paradă stranie în Berlin, Olimpiadă în Beijing, în Teheran produc venit. În Orlean a fost Catrin, un gol înscris de Zinadin, cu grața recorit Gulf Stream, iar ploile nu vin. Ploile nu vin. Ploile nu vin. Ploile nu vin. În Bratislava norii vin, în urmăriri un asasin, un pod reconstruit pe rin. În ploiele nu vin.
There is a national palace behind me. Here, in October 13, 2011, was a concert of revived band Nora.
Loud applause, joy, but unfortunately without one of the legends and creators of Norok, Mihai Dolgan, which was gone 3 years before.
But the new and old members of the band play together old and new hits of the band, and it means that life is going on and rock with it too.
And like epilogue, I can say that Norok, like all Moldovan rock music, passed his way, endured years of silence and cabinet bureaucrats, and he won, they won, and history started a new circle.
This is Kishinev, Moldova, and I've got to get some rest.
So, bye-bye friends, we will meet at the next episode of Rock Other Worlds. And at the end, cool music video from band Paralela 47. Viva Rock!
Același suntem fragmente, completamente ne împletim perfect mereu. Fierbem cafea cu miere, deschis bariere și nasturi la pieptul tău. Și nimeni n-o să știe